All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is the brother Mayum coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations unto the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. And just want to do a quick video just going into this article entitled The Trust Files. The internet is dying, but the digital trust ecosystem can save it. And for a while, for a long time now, you know, the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai have been saying that, you know, the way that these devils would present this MOTB system, which is, you know, a part of the image of the beast or the New World Order, would be through a trusting of the new system. They would create a failing of the current system, okay, and promote a way out or an answer, you know, to this, you know, to the new world, all right, or to the solution. All right. So, you know, first and foremost, if I didn't already, I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations unto the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. So, you know, as I said, you know, this new system that is being created, all right, which is a part of that image, all right, it's being portrayed or it's being shown as the you know, the answer or the solution to the problem that's being created as we speak. All right, the distrust of the current system that we see or that it's in place is being, you know, forwarded to where you have, you know, these political leaders of this world, you know, they're being painted in an image of distrust, okay, as well as the system itself crumbling. You know, you have the economy that continues to fluctuate. You know, the crypto markets, you know, keep going up and down. Even assets like gold and silver, you know, prices keep going up and down. So there's a lot of uncertainty, you know, with the current system that's in place, and it's all being put out there as such, you know, for the convenience of that peace and safety that's going to come. All right, because the peace and safety is going to be pushed out there as hey, this is the new way to bring things back to normal. All right, so just to read up a little bit on this article here, it says the internet is effed, no exaggeration. So says Evan McCullen, CEO and co-founder of Privado ID and Billions Network, in the second episode of the Trust File. It's brutal, but she's not wrong. The big question now is, how do we un-eff it? It says, although the internet was founded on the premise of human trust and communication between machines, it is now overrun by bots and non-human actors. McCullen says, the challenge that we now face is creating a global, interoperable framework of accountability so we can return trust to the internet that we know and love. And this is being done primarily through the financial sector, because without money, you're not able to, or, you know, to do anything. And as the saying goes, you know, money makes the world go round. This is how they're how they're setting up this new system for people to trust in it. Okay, because through these new blockchains that are being created and being forwarded, is, you know, in the policies of these world economies, more and more people are leaning on the security that it comes with. All right, because that's what the blockchain is pushed out as. This is more secure, it's quicker. Okay, it's anonymous, so, you know, or at least they portray it as being anonymous, so you're not, you know, your transactions aren't being tracked, but in all actuality they will be. But they're trying to rebuild that trust in the internet, because as many people have become privy to throughout the years, with anything on the internet, you have to be wary about, okay, because you don't know what you're actually seeing on the internet, whether it's actually real or not. And especially with AI, anybody's able to create a video of something or create a program or whatever, create something that, and, you know, it gives an illusion of trust. All right. And in in all actuality, it's a system or a program built on lies, and it's built on to spy on you and to extract information from you. Okay, so it goes on to say, as the various interviews conducted to date for the trust files make clear, this is a complex task fraught with issues that go far beyond those outlined by McCullen, but a central idea behind the launch of the series was to understand where common ground lies so the digital trust economy can better define where those challenges lie, innovate appropriately, and collaborate where opportune. And this is what they're doing. It's a form of basically, it's a form of taking steps that's called gradualism. All right, little by little, they push these things, particular, updates, particular algorithms out there, so that people can get used to certain things to build more trust. And as time has gone on, people have trusted more in computers, more in financing, more in the connectivity of devices. And we're getting into a time period where the human being, the human body itself, is going to be connected to the internet as well. And this is what the scriptures talk about when it says the mark of the beast, where no man might buy or sell. Because with you being connected to the system, okay, you're going to have the so-called privilege to be able to connect with society in all aspects. But if you don't have the mark of the beast, okay, as the elect will not. All right, the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, they will not get the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, because the scriptures tell us that. Matter of fact, let's just get it real quick. And we know that the majority of the people on the earth are going to take this chip because of the convenience of it. And it's being set up. Okay, it's being set up to where people are trusting it. And look at the generation that's growing up now. This generation of people are growing up on technology. Okay, to where this is what they trust in, this is what they rely in. But this is Revelations chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark on his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So this is the judgment that the Lord is going to bring to those that receive the mark. Okay? Those that worship the image, okay, and that receive his mark, they're going to be destroyed. And the coming judgment that the Lord is going to bring. Because they chose to trust in man. Really, not even. They chose to trust in computers and technology. And see, this is a part of when you go read Revelations chapter 13, this is a part of that deception that's brought upon the world by the miracles of the beast. The miracles being its technological advances, especially in the medical field. This, when you have Elon Musk, and he has the Neuralink, which is that microchip that people put into their brains, and people are able to do things that they've never been able to do before in their whole life. Well, these things are all being pushed out there for people to see. You have people like Mr. Beast that goes all over the internet, and he shows these Neuralink, recipients and how they're able to control, the computers with their thoughts. You have people that are able to control bionic arms with their thoughts. Okay, and it's all being pushed out there so that people see the benefits, the so-called benefits of receiving the RFID microchip or these devices being put inside of them. But what they don't understand is the penalty that comes with receiving these things as well. And the penalty is what we just read. And that's what happens when you put your trust into this place. And let's get this in Isaiah. What's that? Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1, it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me. And see, the majority of the people on this earth, they don't take counsel of the Lord. Specifically, you Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you don't take counsel of the Lord. You take counsel of the world. And more specifically, in the times that we're living in now, you take counsel of AI, which is even worse. You're taking counsel from a autonomous, intelligent program that gives you answers based on information that's pushed out to the world. Okay, and you have people that make their life decisions based on the counsel that they receive from these AI computers, these AI programs. Okay. So it says, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. It says, verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And see, this is the thing, is that you have a majority of you Israelites, really the majority of the world, that has put their trust in the shadow of something. And we know that with a shadow, once the sun goes down, there is the shadow disappears along with it, and the image that you thought it created is no longer there. And that's what we're getting ready to witness here in this earth, as the sun sets on Esau's empire. The image that shadow that people hoped would have eventually appear as a figure of something is going to be completely dismantled. And people's lives are going to be completely ruined. Why? Because they trusted in a system that never really, truly was actually there. The image that people have painted in their minds is an image of freedom, of, oh, I'm going to be able to do this, I'm going to be able to do that. We're going to live lavish lives. But in all actuality, all that you're being done is you're being made a slave. And as people become more attached to technology and more dependent on technology, the more of a slave they become to it. And this is what we see happening. This is why they're pushing out for you to trust in this in the technology that's being pushed out, because they want you to become one with this technology, so that you become dependent, and eventually your life is completely run by technology and governed by technology, because that's what they're doing with this AI system. The AI programs that are being pushed out there, these are all things that are being used to govern how the world is going to be run. And that's why they're pushing this out there for people, regular people, to be using, so that they can see, and these programs, these AI programs, learn how people think. Okay? So that as it learns, it's able to better govern the people, because if it can understand how people think and the everyday thoughts and and things that people ponder on, eventually what's going to be done is people are just going to be completely taken over. They're going to be governed by computers. Okay. All right. So let me go back to this article here a little bit, and continue reading a little bit more on this. It says, as the various interviews conducted to date for the Trust Files make clear, this is a complex task fraught with issues that go far beyond those outlined by McCullen. But a central idea behind the launch of the series was to understand where common ground lies, so the digital trust economy can better define where those challenges lies, innovate appropriately, and collaborate where opportune. And as I said, the different policies and different updates to the current software and system is all being done to bring everything that's being done together to serve its purpose to eventually govern this earth. But we know that the Heavenly Father is going to disappoint these devils, because he's not going to fully be able to fully implement his system, because there's going to be a rebellion. All right, there's going to be a pushback of what this devil is trying to do, and people are going to fight, and it's ultimately going to lead to a civil war here in America. And eventually, the complete destruction of this place. All right, but continuing on, it says, consolidated, our global experts identify 4 key areas that need fixing: loss of control and understanding. Digital services underpin our lives, yet people and organizations feel disconnected from how the data is used. Consent is reduced to opaque terms, repeated logins, and intrusive verification practices, all of which erodes confidence and diminishes the user experience. Right, and this is what you hear complaining. People complaining about, I don't want to have my face scanned, and I don't want my fingerprint nowhere. I don't want, you hear all the different rhetoric that people say. But at the end of the day, we know that people are going to eventually fold to this. But this is the main issue right now, okay, where people are not feeling completely trustworthy of this system. Okay, it says fragmentation and complexity. Trust is breaking down because identity, compliance, and verification rely on disconnected systems, duplicated checks, and inconsistent rules across sectors and borders. The annoyance factor aside, this creates an inefficiency and exclusion. And again, we've been saying this for the longest time, that this new system would be pushed out there with the notion of convenience and safety. Okay, because the current system right now is inconvenient. You're having to take too many steps just to be able to verify that it's you, and all these different new forms of verification, and people are just sick of it. They just want something that's streamlined, and they want it now. And so what's gonna happen is this chip is gonna be presented to the world, and people are gonna say, this is the solution that we've been looking for. This is way more streamlined than any other way, any other thing that we could have thought of. Okay, because with this device put inside of you, what it's going to do is allow you to be instantly verified without any other form of verification, because this chip that's inside of you, it can't be duplicated. No one can come and portray themselves to be you when the chip that's inside of you is what's being used to identify you. Okay, it says inclusion and fairness. It says digital trust is failing because systems often assume access to specific technologies, documents, or levels of literacy, leaving both disadvantaged groups and even digital natives struggling to prove who they are in higher assurance contexts. You see, these are issues that they already know is out there, but they've created these issues so that when they present the solution, people are going to be all for it, because the struggle, as people say, is real. Okay. So it says governance, standard, and accountability. And this is where this, here in the West, or in America primarily, it's you have this ESG, the environmental social governance, where you're going to be limited to a certain guideline, a certain standard of how you're supposed to live your life so that you're in compliance with this new world. Okay, so it says in an ideal world, trust would depend on shared interoperable technical and operational standards, with governments acting as referees on the sidelines. This means digital ecosystems must collaborate to create lasting accountability across platforms and jurisdictions. All of which brings us back to McCullen's dire warning about the way the internet is getting away from us. Rising fraud, AI-driven abuse, and the growth of non-human actors have accelerated digital trust into an urgent global challenge. Being able to distinguish humans and act at scale is critical to a healthy digital economy. And again, man, this has all been man-made. The problem is been created by the same people that have pushed this technology out there. Okay, so as we've been saying, man, the way of the elites of this world is order out of chaos. Okay, it's printed on their own seals. Okay, and this is how they get things to get passed: is they create the chaos to then bring about an order, a new structure. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Lord's will, I'll put the link in the description box for anyone who wants to finish reading this article. But it goes in, and they're showing you how the problem that's in place is going to be solved. Okay, for those of us that have ears to hear and eyes to see, we know what that solution is. All right, so with that, Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rocha HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations unto the Akimar on the four corners of the earth, who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. With that, I say Shalom.